Hi, I'm Daniel Andrews, owner and creator of Andrewsfootball. It's Monday night. Yes, you get a special edition Andrews Football video here on Monday night. There's a lot of things going on. So I decided, hey, I just got done watching Monday Night Football. So boom, I decided to create a video. Let's talk about what happened this weekend in the NFL briefly. Hey, listen, I'm going to bring this up now. It just happened on Monday Night Football. Minkah Fitzpatrick is traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers for a first-round pick. But upon further research, it's a 2020 first and fifth, and then 2021 sixth, and then Pittsburgh is going to get Fitzpatrick, a 2024 and a 2021 seventh. So basically, it's fifth and sixth for fourth and seventh. So basically, the big part of the deal is Minkah Fitzpatrick for a first round pick. Now, this gives the Miami Dolphins 3 picks in the first round of the 2020 draft, and the way they look right now, it looks like to be the first pick overall in the draft, plus 2 more in the first round, plus 2 seconds in the draft. Now, if they're sold on Rosen being their quarterback of the future, this is great because you have 3 first round picks that are going to help this kid out. But if you're not sold on Rosen and you're going to try to draft a quarterback, because you have tons of draft capital to play with, I don't like it as much. But if Rosen's your quarterback of the future and you get 3 first-round picks, I love it, because that just gives you an opportunity to do all sorts of things with the draft. Now, between now and the draft in April, so many things could happen. But early on, because I'm already looking at mock drafts, I love the draft that much. That it looks like there's going to be about 4 to 5 quarterbacks that are going to be available. So if Rosen is your guy, there's a very good chance that one of those picks, maybe the number 1, can trade down. Now, I want to bring this up because somebody put in a comment that, man, this is the worst team of all time. Just to throw this out, the 1989 Pittsburgh Steelers started off losing their first game 0-51. Lost their second game 10-41, so it's a combined score of 10-92. Went 9-7, won a playoff game, and then lost to the Denver Broncos in the conference game, the divisional round. My mistake. And now keep in mind the Denver Broncos went on to the Super Bowl but lost 55-10. That's a different story completely. But if you know anything about the '89 Steelers, it was when Merle Hodge just exploded in the playoffs. He had 2 100-yard games, just looked like a man among boys. Probably his 2 best games of his career. But that team started off losing 2 games. Everything looked like it was going to end. Now, do I think Miami's going to make that turnaround? No, I don't. But it has happened before for a team to look god awful for 2 games and go to the playoffs and win a playoff game. Yes, it happened in '89, so it's a long time ago, but it has happened. Do I think the Dolphins are going to do that? No, but I don't think they're going winless either. I think that they will turn things around, sort of, kind of, but I don't think they're going winless. I'm going to say that. Now, speaking of the Steelers, who are getting Minkah Fitzpatrick, they're 0-2. Hall of Fame quarterback Ben Roethlisberger is out for the year. In comes Mason Rudolph. Now, I loved Mason Rudolph coming out of Oklahoma State. I actually, and this looks bad on me, but I actually liked him more than Baker Mayfield coming out of college, because Mason Rudolph was 6'5". He's 240. He's athletic. He's got this big arm. And I actually thought he was going to go in the first round, but he ended up going in the third round. And lots of NFL, I kept on hearing things, all sorts of social media. People really didn't like this kid. I didn't know why. He put up great numbers at Oklahoma State. He did a lot of great things. But for some reason or another, people just didn't like him as a first round quarterback. I did. So I thought going to Pittsburgh was a perfect spot for him. So here's the thing. In the way the NFL is nowadays, there's 2 ways that you can build your team. You get a quarterback, you get a young quarterback on a rookie contract, and you build your team around him. You take all these pieces and you put them into place. All right. Or you have a Hall of Fame quarterback and you give him the large amount of money, then you put pieces in play around him, lesser cost players, basically players that aren't going to demand the big contracts, because there is a salary cap. It's not like the NBA where you can just get 4 or 5 players to go to one team, pay them a lot of money, and they have a super team. You can't really do that. Even though it looks like that's what the Patriots did with Antonio Brown. But bottom line, those are the 2 ways you build a team. So the Steelers were trying to build everything around Ben Roethlisberger, but in 2020, without the first round pick, they have to figure out, do they want to move on from Roethlisberger, or are they going to keep Mason Rudolph as their quarterback? Because Roethlisberger's contract, he only signed a 2-year extension for this year and next year. I'm going to call it now that if Roethlisberger comes back and he is able to play quarterback, it's not going to be at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger's career with the Pittsburgh Steelers is over. Mason Rudolph's going to be a good quarterback. I think the Steelers are really going to like this kid. I think they're going to be about a 500 team, maybe even 9-7. Maybe they make the wild card, maybe they don't. Do I think they win the division? No, the team's not good enough. But Mason Rudolph's a really good quarterback, and I think the Steelers are going to build their team around Mason Rudolph. And if Ben Roethlisberger wants to play football, he's going to have to do it with another team. And there's lots of Hall of Fame quarterbacks that end up on different teams. I mean, Brett Favre played for the Minnesota Vikings. Joe Montana ended his career here in Kansas City. It happens a lot. A lot of people don't realize it, but lots of Hall of Fame quarterbacks end up spending the last 1 or 2 years of their career in another city. Chiefs fans know that better than anybody. Where was Joe Montana at the last 2 years of his career? Here in Kansas City. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think Ben Roethlisberger is going to end his career playing somewhere else if he doesn't retire, but his career at the Pittsburgh Steelers is over. You heard it here on Andrews Football. Next thing is Drew Brees. He's out for 6 weeks. I heard 6 to 8 weeks, but here's the thing. The bye week's week 9, so the next 6 weeks will be Teddy Bridgewater. He's going to play for a big contract. I think he'll keep the team around 500. Basically, after the bye, they have a home game against Atlanta, the Saints, Atlanta. That's a really good, underrated rivalry, by the way. A really old rivalry. That's a lot of fun. Brees will come back for that game. I think he's a gamer, and even if he's not 100%, he will play in that game. And I think Saints still win the division. They're just not going to get a 1 seed, which, as you well know, it didn't help them last year. And you don't want to play the Saints in the playoffs. But I think that Bridgewater, basically, he's just playing for a long-term contract. Is he good enough to be a starter? I think he is. He's not good enough to be a starter of a team and lead them into a Super Bowl. Drew Brees can take the Saints to the Super Bowl. Bridgewater can't. Can Bridgewater take that team to the playoffs? Absolutely. It's possible, but I think that with Bridgewater, the Saints are about a 500 team. Bridgewater right now is just playing for a contract. Maybe he wants to be a backup, but I think that if he plays well, he'll have a chance to be a starter. If he doesn't, he's an excellent backup quarterback. All right? Excellent backup quarterback. The Saints still win the South. They just don't get a 1 seed. So when Brees comes back, watch out for the Saints. And the last topic I'm going to touch base on is Eli Manning here. There's talk about Eli Manning not getting support from Pat Shurmur and that he may get benched for Daniel Jones. You don't draft a quarterback with the 6th overall pick and sit him for several years. He's going to play sooner or later. The question is, should he play sooner instead of later? Me personally, I would let Eli Manning play for the rest of the year. And look at this here. I had it right here. My apologies. But the New York Giants are going to play at Tampa Bay and home against the Redskins. Those are 2 very winnable games, all right? So let Eli win those 2 games. Go 2-2. Let Daniel Jones be a rookie. Let him learn behind a future Hall of Famer. And in 2020, he's your starter. And Eli Manning, he's going to do the same thing Ben Roethlisberger is going to do. He's going to probably start for another team. And you know, is Eli Manning a Hall of Famer? That's a debate for another day. I don't think he is, but he has good enough numbers to be into the Hall. He actually does. If you look at his career numbers plus 2 Super Bowls, both of them against Tom Brady, you can argue he's the greatest quarterback of all time. So does he make the Hall of Fame? Doesn't he? That's a debate for another day. I don't think he is, but I wouldn't be surprised if he makes the Hall of Fame. So, hey, listen, if you're a subscriber to Andrews Football, you already know you're one of the greatest people on planet Earth. All your wildest dreams are going to come true. But listen, if you're new to my channel, there's a button right down here. See it, see it, see it. Bam! Hit that button. Become one of the greatest people on planet Earth. I'm still coming out with a video Wednesday where I break down the rest of week 2. So, hey, I'll see you Wednesday.